listings. Think about it. Somebody's got their property on the market for a long time. It expires. Immediately she sends them a postcard. They're desperate to sell. It goes on her seller's list. In fact, there's a link below, and I'm gonna just reference it now, maybe at the end, but I'm gonna include some killer stuff that our students have done and I've done in that link below as a little bonus for you. So what we're gonna do is I'll give you Carol's postcard that she sends to expired listings. Hi, this is Dean, and I wanted to stop the video for just a minute because if you don't have a pen and paper handy, I want you to grab one in just a second. You probably already know, but if you roll your mouse over the video, in the lower left-hand side, there's the pause button. You can just click that as soon as I'm done asking the question. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a quick question now, something to really provoke thinking. I think it's really important that you're interactive at this part. Since you're going to have the postcard Carol Stenson uses to send to people when their listing is expired, I want you to think of something. If you don't already have a real estate agent you're using, I want you to write down 3 names of people that could potentially be your real estate agent or the names of somebody who could give you a referral. And if you're not with the perfect agent, then still write this down. Okay, you can hit pause in the lower left-hand side and then come back and hit play. Now, think about Carol. Her success was she got the education, she created proven marketing systems and strategies that she sent out or put on Craigslist or put on eBay, and also she created some of her own smart automation. And I found out what she created, and we're going to talk about that in a minute because it's one of the pieces that we didn't have for you that now we do, and we'll talk about that. Think of Matt Larson. Matt Larson came up on stage. Matt was, if you know his story, if you've watched these videos before, Matt was a machine shop worker, working 70 hours a week, living in a 300 square foot apartment, desperate, sad, reading books on how to stop the anxiety at night because he used to look at all the other guys working in the machine shop and seeing them, 20, 30 years older than him doing the same thing. He's like, this is all there is? I'm going to worry about money forever. I'm going to get dirty and greasy. My family thinks I'm a loser. So he went for it and changed his life. Well, along the way, he's done 125 deals. He's working on his second $1 million, over $10,000 a month in positive cash flow. He's an amazing success story. But I want to know how Matt did it. He came to the Edge event, and I'm going to just write Edge here. He came to the Edge event and shared how to go fast. He stood up on stage and said, how would you like to know immediately how you can get going just like that? And he gave away his best techniques. And what I know about video learning or learning from someone like that is it's so powerful. I see the results it gets. So Matt, one of his strategies, he teaches people how to find the best realtor in the world just like that who could be your asset to do the work for you. So what I'll do again in the link below, I'll include some of the steps on how you could find the perfect realtor. But again, the education, and I'm going to specifically talk about the Edge. You had Randy, who came up and said how he's doing 35 deals without using any of his own money and the marketing strategies he's using. And people like Joe Jurek. I think Joe prepared for 3 whole months, and he came with 7 techniques to go just like that on finding REOs, to use small banks, use no money down, and get amazing deals, and how he's raised his net worth almost $1 million since starting. These people aren't different than you. They didn't have less obstacles than you. They don't have more education. They don't have more money. What they had is a desire. But I also, when I interviewed all my top students, I found the common denominators on what made them successful, what made them set for life, and how now I can make you set for life. So we're going to go back to those few people in a minute, but I want to talk about proven marketing. Marketing is one of the most powerful things on the planet, and what we found is sometimes when we teach marketing, it still doesn't sit in with people. They might understand to use Craigslist, might understand they could use Facebook, they might understand they could use the internet, but what do I say? How do I say it? And what do I say once someone calls me? So what I realize people need, what you need is done for you marketing, right? So you don't have to, done for you. So you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to wonder, what do I say on Craigslist at what time of day and where do I drive them to? Let's just create this done for you marketing so you could put it in place. And what I've done is I've asked all my top students, what is your marketing? What is your best piece to find a real estate agent, to find a buyer, to find a seller? Because one thing that they had in common, there was a lot of things, but one extremely powerful thing, and you need to write this down. I've been preaching it for 2 years. I'm going to show you how we make it easier. One thing every single successful student had in common was a buyer's list and a seller's list. Folks, there's more money out there. We talked about there's new money out there in the billions of dollars waiting to be spent because they know the real estate market is the only place to build security. There are millions of homes that need to be sold that are desperate. And I'm not talking the ones on the you know, the MLS. I'm talking about millions of homes that need to be sold, and you could find them through strategic marketing, just like every one of my successful students are doing. So what I've done is taken my techniques over 20 years, grabbed their best techniques, and we prepared done for you marketing. Use this, place it here, and this is what's going to happen. And when they call, send them this. Folks, that's what I'm talking about, of streamlining the process. Here's a real quick one. When you get the smart automation system, when you get the Set for Life marketing system, with a few clicks of your mouse, you'll be able to target your area or any area in the country, like I said, and find a list of cash buyers. What took people years to create in the past, you're going to be able to do in minutes. I want to ask you something. Once you have those buyers, I want you to write down what area around you or anywhere in the country that you think you should be focusing on. Just a gut feeling, because here's what I want to tell you. We're going to teach you every one of those strategies on where you should be investing. But your gut goes a long way, more than you realize. You're smarter than you give yourself credit for if you're thinking you don't know anything about real estate. So I want you to hit the pause button on the lower left-hand side and write down 1 or 2 places you think would be the perfect place to invest around you or somewhere in the country. When you're done, come back and hit play. I've had the time of my life understanding where you might have a pothole, where you might be missing a piece of the puzzle, and filling it. So here's the last piece that I want to talk about, smart automation. If you saw Greg Clement, he had a launch of Sims 2.0. I interviewed him. I brought him right down here. My studio is right over there. I want to make sure he was the real deal. Guys, we've looked at every real estate technology out there and the so-called automation that does everything for you. And we thought most of them were a pile of poo-poo, especially when we gave it to a lot of our students and they said junk. Then we came across Greg Clement. He's a family man, he's a good human being, and I really like him as a person. And then all of a sudden to look at his technology that he developed, and I was blown away. But then I said, I want to take it to the next level. These are for Dean Graziosi students. These are for people ready and willing and want to have a desire to make more money. And we've combined our efforts, and what we've done is come up with smart automation, not push button automation that's going to spit out $100 bills out of your key.